Hey guys, welcome to your Tarot and Oracle card reading for the week of February 1st, 2026. We're just going to do a quick energy update for each sign. There will be timestamps in the description below. If you want a fuller picture of what's coming in for you, then check out your monthly reading on my channel as well. We'll start with the sign of Aries. Beautiful Aries. You have the Wheel of Fortune, so the ending of a cycle and the beginning of another one. Like you are completing something this week, all right? Something that you've been working on for a while. Divine timing is at play here. And when the wheel turns, it could feel like your world is turning upside down. It's like astrology. When the astrology chart switches, all areas of your life are affected. So it feels like there's a big shift in your life that affects many areas of your life. And it's really, really promising, really good. It brings really good things for you. It's followed by the Five of Swords, which is like mental conflict and confusion. So while that's not really good, it's then followed by Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups is a wish card, and you never waste a wish. So pause the video, make a wish, and then come back to your reading. All right, so with the Five of Swords, there is a sense of confusion, like confused communications, mixed signals, delayed messages, getting your wires crossed in some way. There could be something that happens to your computer or your cell phone or something like that as well, that needs to get sorted out, just a little bit of confusion. So don't take everything super seriously that you hear. Watch your words for sure, because this is all about communication and thinking. And, don't think that everything that you see, don't believe everything that you see this week. And then wish fulfillment. All right. So the wheel turning ultimately leads to wish fulfillment. Doesn't mean all your wishes are coming true, but I would definitely look to see what awesome blessing, what gift you have coming in for you this week. Beautiful Aries. Also, you have some advice cards. You have the Ace of Discs, which is beginning a new project, beginning a new earth-based venture, right? Starting a business, writing a book, creating something, making something, a product in some way, or even crafting something for yourself. And this is paired with the Devil. So free yourself. Get rid of those self-imposed limitations. Start creating now. Whatever it is that you've been wanting to start, whatever project that you've been wanting to begin, now is the time, and you can't be fearful. The Devil is self-imposed limitations, stopping us from going after what it is that we want, stopping us from living our best life now, from living life to its fullness, from fully embodying in this life. Makes us feel shameful, fearful, it causes us to project, it admires us in shadow and materialism and addiction and all kinds of things, right? So mind your shadow, face your shadow, and recognize that that you are past that now. You don't have to deal with that now. It's beneath you, it's behind you, it's an exciting new day. And then you have vulnerability is power. So it's okay to be it's okay to start from scratch. It's okay to start fresh. It's okay to let other people see you now. If that's what the Devil was causing you to hide or be shameful, you don't need to do that. You can be vulnerable. And that is power. That Spirit is telling you is where you are going to get the fuel, the fire, and the blessings for whatever it is, this Ace of Discs, this seed that you plant is starting. Okay. So I love that for you, beautiful Aries. I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, Taurus. So you have Four of Wands, which is making a commitment, planting your posts, planting your fire, saying yes to the proposal, to the job proposal, to, the contract, whatever it is, followed by the Death card, change and transformation. It's obviously this is transforming you, which ends up transforming your life. Releasing something. There's a strong sense of releasing. The moon, fear. You know, it's the moon is facing your fears, and the death card can definitely bring fear. It can bring fear of change ultimately, because all fear is ultimately fear of change, and that's what the death card is, change and release. So you could be facing that fear. And the Knight of Pentacles, this is going in the direction of your dreams, it's beginning to plant a forest. So it's the beginning of a long venture. You know, you are creating a forest by planting seeds, you know, so it's going to take a long time for those seeds to grow, to make trees, which will drop more seeds, which will grow more trees, right? So you have a long road ahead of you, a long, beautiful and blessed road. But nevertheless, this is just the beginning. It feels like, because the moon card is here, like because you've overcome your fears, or you faced your fears, or you acted anyways, now you are free to move forward into this creative venture that the Knight of Pentacles is. Also, there's this energy of divine timing with the moon card. You can see the moon cycle here, like timing is like timing aligned, right? Divine timing has aligned for you to start planting your seeds in some area. And your advice cards is King of Discs and Six of Discs. So the King of Discs is the master of manifestation. Like he is, all the kings are masters, and the discs is the earth element. So he knows where to plant the seeds, what seeds to plant, and he relishes the process. There is a need to relish the process. The Knight of Pentacles is kind of a slow energy. It's going to take a little while for things to unfold for you. So it's not about the destination, it's the journey. You know, like you're on a journey now. And the Six of Discs is you're being told to no longer give to what doesn't give back to you. It's to remove yourself from energetic, vampiric people, places, things, situations, structures, institutions, whatever. You know, if you go to work and you come home feeling much more spent, exhausted, you know, tired, drained than you would otherwise feel, then it's, you know, you're being asked to start looking for another job. If there are relationships that do that to you, you're being asked to reevaluate if those relationships are really that important to you. Like, really, you're being called to take stock and honor yourself. Really, you know, what the Six of Discs does, or the Six of Pentacles, is it tells you to value what you have to give as much as Spirit does. You know, what you give is divine, is beautiful. It blesses the world, right? So if it doesn't give back to you in some small measure and fill up your cup, then Spirit doesn't want you doing that anymore, because you're going to deplete yourself and you're not going to be able to make the world a better place. Ultimately, though, the Six of Discs and the King of Discs is creative. It's creating. You know, Spirit wants you to create something, to manifest something, to work on something that's going to grow your resources, grow your treasure. You know, it feels like timing is calling you for that in some way, you know. And then you have release old patterns. So it feels like that Six of Discs energy and the Death card could just be like, there are parts of your life that you're living by default, not by design. And Spirit wants you to, again, look at it and say, is this how I want it? Why am I doing this? Why am I hanging out with these people? Why am I spending time in this place, in this situation? Is it because I've inherited it? Am I expected to? You know, is it a story that I was told and now I don't even question? You know, it's time to release old patterns and become a new version of Taurus. Okay. I love that. Thank you so much, beautiful Taurus, for being here. Thank you for being in, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Gemini, you have the Emperor. So it's like getting your ducks in a row, getting your world together, like creating systems and structures that's going to make sense of your world, preserve your world, secure your world, you know, making time management systems, budgets, meal plans, things like that, things that are, boundaries even, that is going to help you moving forward to keep things from getting too messy, right? And then you have Queen of Wands, fiery energy, going after your dreams, going after what makes your heart sings, to Eight of Cups, releasing what no longer serves. So it's like really getting your house in order, It's like, so to speak, with the Emperor and the Queen of Wands, this is like sovereign energy, bossing up, being the master of your life, being the creator of your life, and recognizing that you are responsible for what you let in. And then the Eight of Cups is like, okay, well then I'm going to go in the direction that is more aligned with me, and I'm not going to let in things that don't align with me anymore. And these cups down here, they once served me, but they just don't serve me anymore. So I'm going to my bright, happy place, and it feels like a long time coming, beautiful Gemini. So, you are going to be so much happy. Like I'm seeing this star here, but between the sun and moon over the Emperor's head. And I'm seeing the star here over your head as you ascend. Like you're being guided. The stars guide us, and Spirit is guiding you to a better situation, a better place, and to leave what isn't so good for you, And then your advice cards is the Nine of Discs. This is entrepreneurial energy. This is creating your world by yourself, for yourself. The Nines is a mature, wise energy, like the Hermit. The Nine of the major arcana is the Hermit. And so this is the Hermit of the earth element. So it is, I'm wise. I know what I'm doing. I'm teaching other people. I'm guided in some ways. And it's also very magician, pointing up at the sky, pointing down, like channeling your divine spark to manifest things all around you, like to grow your garden. And the Ace of Swords, getting clarity, getting wisdom, getting downloads. It's studying. It's, the Aces is on their beginning of their path of, in the case of Swords, learning, studying, opening your mind, right? Creating a system of communication, like a YouTube channel, a book, or something like that as well, because Swords is, has a lot to do with throat chakra energy. So it just feels like, again, this isn't a lot of activity. Here you are channeling your divine spark to manifest it, and it's just where focus goes, energy flows. And here you're tied up, you're not moving at all yet, you're using your mind. And again, where focus goes, energy flows. So think about what you really want. Set your intentions. Make your wishes. Envision the life that you want. Okay? And then let your ship set sail. Begin that voyage. Begin the grand adventure. Your ships have come in. Board your ships and let them take you to your dreams, to your better and brighter future. All right. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful Gemini. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Cancer, you have the Lovers to the Three of Wands. So the Lovers is at a crossroads, and so is the Three of Wands. So you get a choice, like you are given a choice on which way to go. We have some advice cards here that should give you clarity, but it feels like a real blessing. You have the angel at the top there. The Lovers are in alignment with their higher self, alignment with their truth. For a lot of us, it's alignment with another soul. I'm not seeing that as, so much, but for some of you, that's definitely the case. If that is the case, the door is open and you're being pushed through it. The tide is high. Time to set your surfboard in the water. Time to make that proposal. Time to ask that person out. Time to go for it, kind of thing, right? The Three of Wands is like your ships are coming in. It's time to take advantage of divine timing, divine alignments, With the Lovers card, it's going to bring you a real blessing, all right? And then you have the Four of Cups and the Hermit. The Four of Cups is like being given your grail, and it's going to take you a second to recognize it. There's kind of an energy of jadedness here, like, oh, you've been in one relationship after another. When is the right relationship going to come? Oh, here it is behind you. You can't even see it. It's a gift. It's the Ace of Cups gifted to you from Spirit. It's going to take you a while to see it. You have to turn around, turn that frown upside down. Or it could be, I've tried one thing after another and it hasn't worked out for me, whatever that may be, right? Well, don't stop trying. Like seriously, this is with the Three of Wands, your ships are coming in, and the Four of Cups, like whatever has felt like it's not fulfilling, like your heart, like it leads to, again, that jaded energy, lonely energy, frustrated energy. Don't give up. Okay. And then you have Hermit. This is great wisdom. This is shining your light for the world to see. You are wiser. You are on an elevated platform where people can look up to you. In many ways, they are looking up to you this week. You are teaching people, with the Hermit and disseminating great wisdom. It feels like here is the Grail too. I just want to show you have this. All right, the story is the Grail this week. All right, you have the Grail behind you that you need to turn around. You need to take that Grail, and the Grail is here between the Lovers as well. It's a gift from Spirit. That is the blessing. It's what catches the light of God. You know what I mean? You have something to offer the world, and that's your lamp, the Hermit's lamp. And so your blessing turns into a blessing for the world. Like if you're given information, if you're given clarity, that's what you can use as a message to share with other people. I'm just saying, beautiful Cancer, there's something to do with the blessing of the Lovers and the blessing that you share with the Hermit. Okay. Now your focus cards, your advice cards, is the King of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So the King of Swords is a mastermind, and it's a master communicator as well. And he's a prolific content creator. And hopefully this focuses, but his feathers around his crown chakra are surrounded by words. So you're being told to be a prolific content creator and to start now. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is at the beginning of his journey. You have to start somewhere. Why not start now? With the King of Swords, you have a lot to say, a lot to share, a lot to teach. With the Hermit, your wisdom is special. It's a special offering that Spirit doesn't want you to hide your light under a bushel, wants you to shine it from the mountains, And you can see you have the white owl of wisdom here. There's definitely wisdom that you need to be sharing with the world, okay? And then you have community calls. So in some way, you are a blessing to the community is a blessing to you. It's time to join a community or to rejoin a community, or in some way embrace the spirit of community, all right? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Leo, you have the Queen of Swords with the Prince of Swords. So this is like, the Queen of Swords has a lot of clarity, a lot of information, and she's not afraid to say her words either. There's an easy flow of communication here. She's very witty, fast-witted. She can be sharp-tongued, and she could put her head over her heart. But, it feels like that kind of energy for you. It's like information is the theme this week. Clarity, investigating, starting a study program, for instance, because you have the Prince of Swords, which is similar to like the Page of Swords in this deck. So it's like starting a program where you are learning more, you're refining your understanding. It's really, truly a focus on communication. And the Seven of Wands, defending your position at the top of a hill. So it's like really having to focus your mind. There's a need to focus your mind and not drop the ball, not have fun when you should be studying type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like really, focus on communication as well. And not consuming communication as much as creating or disseminating data, downloads, information, wisdom, and all that. So, I mean, and beautiful Leo, look at this image. This is you. This is Leonine energy, authentic truth, like stepping back into your truth, stepping into the light again, the beautiful Leo light that you are most comfortable in. Maybe you found yourself outside of. Now you are re-emerging as beautiful Leo, because here this Queen of Swords has a butterfly on her tummy. Like, you are changing, you've been changed, and you see clearly now in a way that gives you permission to be you, to step into your truth. There's a lot of truth energy here with all the blue too, right? And throat chakra. And then you have your advice cards. Four of Swords. This is a card of perspective. There's two towers far, far away, and they're being struck by lightning. It's like, I don't know what that sounds like to you, but to me it sounds like twin towers, right? Energy. But they're very, very small and far away. So we have greater understanding about what happened there, greater understanding about the impact now that time and space is between us and it. And it feels like you're being told to get perspective, to gain perspective, to place distance and time. Give yourself time and space between you and something traumatic or something challenging so that you can have clarity. You know, the Four of Swords is usually an image of somebody laying down and recovering. You know, it's a card of recovery, reconnecting to spirit, meditating, prayer, time in silence, time in nature, that kind of thing, right? And that's what perspective will gift you. And then you have the Fool card. You know, be bold and brave and open. And look at this. This is so interesting because I mentioned the butterfly on the Queen of Swords. And as I mentioned that, I noticed these moths here on the Prince of Swords. And it made me think, okay, well, that validates the message that you have changed. You are different. And look at the Fool card here. You literally are wearing a butterfly mask surrounded by butterflies. You have changed so much, beautiful Leo. And now you are a different person, a completely different person. And so you are told to start fresh, start over as you know, as that authentic Leo energy that I was feeling. Okay. Be you. It's okay. And split your focus. Split your focus. And you can see like two planets here. Like there are two priorities in your life, and that's okay. You're being told that both of those things are important. Both of those things are worthy of your time and energy. And it reminds me of this energy here too. Again, starting that, you know, this is the Prince of Swords, starting a program of study, starting a school type, a course of some sort, a learning path of some sort. And it's got something that really reminds me of this here. It's got similar colors and all that. So that new venture of learning can be an additional priority that you add to your plate. So now you're kind of like juggling, and that's okay. Spirit wants you to do that. So thank you so much for being here, beautiful Leo. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Virgo. You have the Chariot, which is creating momentum. It's moving things forward. And that's not an easy task with the Chariot card, because the Chariot card is a concrete or carved rock throne from the Emperor, basically. So it's pretty tricky to get that thing rolling, especially with horses that have different priorities. You know, one wants to go one way, one wants to go the other, and you don't have reins. So how are you going to do this? You know what I mean? So you are focusing on getting the Chariot, getting the ball rolling, and really dedicating yourself to that. And you have the Devil. freeing yourself. You will probably come to understand what it is that's holding you back, what it is that's weighing you down, why you don't have the reins on the chariot, why your dark horse is going off, into left field. You'll have clarity with the Devil card, and it'll make it easier for you in the long run to navigate change and create momentum, but only after you face fears, face shadow, projection, the need to forgive, materialism, addiction, apprehension, guilt, shame. The devil can bring any number of things. It's anything that we can come up with in our mind that makes us feel small and helpless and holds us down. So in order to create momentum, you're going to face that energy and create momentum. You're going to come out on top. You have the Knight of Wands. You beat that devil energy with the Knight of Wands. I love it. So the Knight of Wands is on fire, and these are the plumes all around of a phoenix. So there is a sense of coming out, emerging from ashes, emerging from the past, emerging from the relic of the past, into the fiery, new, passionate, optimistic, hopeful future. It's a very victorious energy. And your advice cards is Page of Swords. Learn what you need to learn. Be curious, investigate, study. You have to start learning something, and you're starting from the beginning with the page, so it's going to help you to navigate these waters, navigate momentum. And you have Queen of Cups, which is follow your heart and don't follow anything else, really. The Queen of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite deck is just holding a cup in front of her face like this, like a trophy, and looking at it like this and nothing else. So she lets her emotional guidance system tell her which way to go. She doesn't believe her eyes. She's too wise to believe her eyes. She believes her heart. And also there's throat chakra healing, and I see that in this card too. Like, this card has a white throat chakra energy, and here this crab is putting the Queen of Cups. This really stands out for me because the Queen of Cups is all about the heart chakra. So why is this crab placing blue pearls above the throat chakra? Yeah, that's healing your throat, and this is healing your throat. I love that. So say your words. It's okay to say your words, to tell your truth. The more you express your truth, the more you will understand your truth. The more you follow your heart, the more your heart will speak to you. Okay? And then you have slow down. There's no need to be in a hurry. I mean, you have the Chariot card. Like, you're going to go at the pace that Spirit allows. You are going to go at the pace of divine timing in this case. So slow down also might mean, hey, you got some things to learn, you back up a little bit, and make sure that what you're doing is correct. Make sure that, you are doing things correctly so you don't have to redo them later on. Okay. So that's what I have for you, beautiful Virgo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Libra, you start with 8 of Pentacles, work, 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 and King of Pentacles, mastering the creative process, mastering the energy of earth, and manifestation. And then 7 of Swords, overcoming imposter syndrome, remembering who you are, and knowing that you are worthy of all good things. So 8 of Pentacles is refining your craft. It's making one coin or one pentacle after another, so that you are refining your talents, gifts, and abilities. You're getting faster, stronger, and better at it, becoming a master of it. And the King of Pentacles is the master of it. Right? So, in many ways, this is like building your treasure, building your resources, building your future. This is a very, very good week for you, beautiful Libra. And then the 7 of Swords is the need to remember who you are. It reminds me of the Lion King Simba. his dad, he saw his dad in the reflection of water, or he saw him, anyways, he saw his dad in a dream or something, and he said, remember who you are. And because when he looked at his own reflection in the water, he saw a baby lion cub, but he remembered that he was a full-grown lion, and finally he saw a full-grown lion in the reflection. Something like that happened. And look at this. This is a white stag with a big crown chakra, horns open up to spirit, channeling spirit, white with purity, and a spirit guide. You know, if you see a stag like this in the woods, you follow it because they will lead you to your destiny. And here, when he looks in his reflection, he sees a little brown deer, right? So there's a need to see yourself clearly. Know that when you look in the mirror, you are stronger, braver, smarter than you think you are, okay? And then you have, in your advice row, you have the moon inverse. So don't be afraid, don't fear. You know, the moon is a card of like darkness. It can be eerie to go down a path in the dark. And that's basically what you're doing in the moon. And when it's inverse, it's truly like saying, don't fear the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper. 10 of Swords. This is the ultimate death card in the tarot. Now, this is in your advice row. This isn't what's coming for you. It's like the death of the ego. Don't fear the death of your ego. Don't fear being seen. Don't fear being vulnerable. Don't fear being shamed. Don't fear being ridiculed. You should stand out. You should stand up. You should put yourself out there. You should say your words anyways. Don't oppress yourself. I want to say, like, honestly, don't oppress yourself anymore. With the 10 of Swords, this is an opportunity for you to face your fears. And the more times you can do that, the better your life will be. And the more refined your soul will be. Here you are refining your craft, but you get to refine your soul. Imagine living one life after another, just like making one pentacle after another, living the same life over and over again. You don't want to do that. You want to upgrade, ascend, do better, you know? And this is how you do it. You get out of your comfort zone, okay? This is a really good week for you, beautiful Libra. And then you have, you are brilliant. Look at that. You are brilliant. Shine like a peacock. Let your beautiful colors be seen. And if somebody doesn't appreciate those colors, well, then they're colorblind, they're stupid, they're not worthy of you. Who cares? I don't care. You shouldn't care, right? What matters is that you obey your calling. You obey your higher self. You obey your angels, and you step into the bright light that you belong in. I love that for you, beautiful Libra. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Okay, Scorpio, you have the world, the closing of a cycle, a grand cycle, and the beginning of a new one. And you have the High Priestess. You know, this is like really being tapped in, tuned in, turned on. This is like being plugged in, knowing, like understanding your dreams, remembering your dreams and knowing what they mean, like really understanding the signs and synchronicities. Your intuition is lit up, and not is it just lit up, but you're getting messages, you know, like there's a difference when you have really powerful intuition and you're not just getting lots of messages, but here Spirit is like talking to you loud and often. And then you have Justice. So 3 major arcana cards. 3 out of 3 cards are major arcana cards. This is a big week for you. Justice is really good karma coming in for you as well. You know, something that you deserve, something that maybe, you know, you don't deserve, but it's just what was meant for you. A ruling in your favor for a lot of you. This is being balanced and upright. You know, the scales are perfectly balanced. Your heart is as light as a feather, and the sword is perfectly upright. This is a perfectly symmetrical card. Well, you know, most Justice cards are. There may be some small differences, but the idea here is as within, so without. As above, so below. It's truly being centered in space, in the world, And I see that here as well with the High Priestess. You know, there is a strong energy of you are kind of in an energy of suspension, and things are unfolding around you. What you have created in the light grid through your intentions, through your focus, through envisioning, through work, hasn't quite manifested yet. And it's about to, or it starts manifesting this week. With the World card, this is like the most powerful card of manifestation. This is when the light codes lower themselves in frequency and become densified physical manifest reality, right? And it's because of the work that you've done, the karma, whatever, you know, it's something that you brought into the world, but it really also feels like something moving in your favor. The world turning, right? And it landing in a place that it's like a roulette wheel, right? And it lands exactly where it's supposed to for beautiful Scorpio, to wake you up to a higher, more ascended timeline. Then we have the Four of Discs, which is that energy of slowing down the frequency so that things can manifest. There's a sense of safety here and solidity. There's being set apart. This is the hermitage where the hermit lives, the monastery. You know, people can't reach it. Like, there's a sense of being secure here. And the Seven of Swords, like, this is a mental challenge. All the sevens are a challenge. And this is a challenge of your mind, the swords. There's a riddle here. You know, traditionally people see this as liar, cheater, stealer. And you could see that in this image. This is Raven steals the sun. There's a myth behind it. But the energy here is that this jewel here is representative of your heart chakra and your heart's truth, your heart's highest truth. That energy of ascension that I talked about with the world is here in the Four of Discs. You have to ascend a mountain to be there. You know, it's like from that ascended energy, you are able to open your heart in some new way, able to recognize love on another level. You know, you have clarity about what self-love is, what your self-worth is, what truth is, what your heart's truth is. You know, there's a struggle here between the raven and this white snake. You know, and again, mental challenge. This could just be something simple like taking a test or a quiz or an exam, like really a mental challenge. But there's something that you're going to have to do that's going to require you to align your heart and your mind. Heart-mind coherence. And, you know, it definitely comes from a safe space, a quiet space, a space of, again, ascension. And then you have, you're more powerful than you know. You're more powerful than you know. I don't know what else to say, beautiful Scorpio. Like, that's the truth. You know, you are a powerful magician. You're a powerful being. You are God in human form. You are a miracle, you know. So Spirit wants you to know that. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful Scorpio. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Hey, beautiful Sagittarius. This week you have Six of Swords, which is going to a more peaceful, calm, healing place, with the Four of Swords, recovering, being in prayer, in meditation, in silence, to reconnect with spirit and your higher self so that you can get your thoughts in order, and so that you can have clarity. And Ace of Cups. This could be new love. This could be a new lease on love. This is your grail, ultimately. And the grail is whatever it is that makes your heart sing. You know, it's different for everybody, but you get this. You get your grail. You get this. All the aces are gifts from spirit. You know, they're all being handed to you from Spirit because you're going to calmer waters, more peaceful shores, and practicing peace and silence and recovery and connecting to your God's guides and guards, you know. Really also with the Six of Swords, like you're not oaring your boat here, or you have no tools. You're just laying peacefully while you're dreaming about calmer shores. And then the orca are swimming to calmer shores, which creates a wake on the surface of the water that carries your boat slowly to calmer shores. You know, so, and it's because you project going to calmer shores up to the light grid, and a light orca, an orca in the image of light, starts going to calmer shores, which tells these orcas what to do. Like the universe is working with you on this, and you really don't have to do much. You can see that here in this image too. You're peacefully connecting with Spirit. This is a time of connecting with Spirit so that you can heal in some ways, and that your life can heal around you as well. And then again, the Ace of Cups is that beautiful gift of, it could be even miraculous healing. Like this is soul level healing, finding your healing in your life in some way, right? It's not just in your body or in your heart, it's in your life in some way as well. And then your advice cards is Three of Swords. This is the need to forgive. Forgive yourself or forgive others. And whatever that means for you, just remember I said that because something tells me you're not sure what I'm talking about. A lot of you are like, what? I don't even know. Just remember this. When the opportunity presents itself, you'll remember I said that. And a great way to forgive is just practice the Pono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Regardless of if you need forgiveness or they need forgiveness, it doesn't matter. By you saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, you're cutting those cords, those karmic cords that keep you tied to old storylines and old resentments that don't belong to you. And then you have Five of Cups. This is healing. This is emotional healing. This is the wounded healer Chiron in a well in the Garden of Eden with a leg wound that would never heal. And he's on the well in the garden with the healing waters washing over him. This is the only way he can find relief. Go toward healing. Go toward relief. You know, it's like a wound that you have been carrying for a long time, maybe your whole life up until this point. And now Spirit is saying you can be healed now. Whereas maybe before timing didn't align with healing, or you weren't ready to forgive, because only after forgiveness can true healing come. And then the Two of Discs. This is an energy of seeing within and seeing without. This is Athena looking with a gold coin out and a silver coin within, recognizing that she played a part in whatever this trauma was. You know, look inside yourself, see yourself. You know, I don't know how else to say this. See your own part in everything. You know, you have a part in everything. You do. You have to have a more powerful locus of control than projecting blame and all that to other people in order to find true lasting healing that you can take with you into your next life and not have to relive the same drama and trauma over again. I know that is a really specific story. That may not resonate with you. And I'm telling you, for some of you, I really do feel like you don't know what I'm talking about, but just remember I said this, okay? And then you have clear limiting beliefs. And look, see this beautiful dove of peace here? And it's the same dove of peace here. It's like, and these two cards are energies of peace. This is an opportunity for you to clear limiting beliefs, to clear resentment, to clear things that held you down, and to find true peace moving forward in your life. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for being here, beautiful Sag. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Capricorn. You have an interesting week ahead for you. So your reading starts out with these two cards. This is the Tower and the Five of Wands. And do you see what I see here? The volcano in both of them. This is an eruption. This could be tempers flaring. This could be a great upset in the field for you, you know. However, I want to point out that in both cases, you have peace. There's the dove of peace here in the center of the tower, and then you're holding peace lilies and holding your peace in the center of the Five of Wands. So while things are flying all around, there's drama, trauma, conflict, competition, upset all around. You are staying centered and holding your space, knowing this is a temporary energy and this too shall pass. Okay. It really feels like it's leading to a good place though. In spite of what's going on with other people, with you, you have temperance. So it's you are becoming something new. It's not what you get, it's who you become in the process. You know, you are changing, creating alchemy, creating a new Capricorn, by merging your fire and your water. You know, with this, with temperance, we put a sword in the fire till it gets white hot, and then we put it in the water till it's not. We do it over and over again. So it's like your fire is your passion and your temper, right? And your water is your heart space, your emotional guidance system, your peace, and sense of self-love and self-care. So it's like balancing these energies. And it brings you to Four of Pentacles, safety, security, being very grounded, your resources being secured in some way. And again, I get that feeling of peace in the center with that swan. So, and really the Temperance card, because it's an angel, there is a blessing here, you know? So it's like you are being changed for a lot of you because of what's going on around and because you're holding your peace, you know, because I'm seeing a lot of similarities in the colors and the energy between these cards here, you know. So it feels like a very tumultuous week, or you start with a tumultuous week that leads to security, solidity, grounded energy, transformation, slowing things down with the temperance. The temperance is, it can feel like, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It can just really feel like you're walking through the mud or trying to run in deep water, you know, and that's by design, so that the alchemy can take place inside of you, you know. Really, you know, as long as you stay peaceful, you're going to be very happy. You have the sun here, right? This is happiness, freedom, peace, ease, childlike energy through release. You know, releasing other people's priorities, releasing other people's drama, releasing what you thought was important, and focusing on where you are now and what your current situation is. You know, it's really loud out there, I want to say. And then you have Five of Wands. This is, again, messy. This is messy energy, you know. Oh wow, unbelievable. Five of Wands twice, right? Wow. So there's a real message here. You could be in a competition, you know. This is you beating out your competition, but in order to do so, you have to hold your peace. You have to stay centered, and you can't be distracted. Okay. This is like a contest. If this is you beating out your competition, this is going to put you on top in some way. It's really going to give you an advantage and a leg up in some way. And then Queen of Swords. So she sees things above the clouds. She is above the clouds. She is above other people. Truly beating out your competition. She's very quick-witted, very ready to say her words, very, very influential, because she is very, very authentic with her communications, right? But she's also eagle-eyed. She's got a higher perspective. You know, you have to have a higher perspective to put this in perspective. You know, like she puts things in their place and doesn't get caught up in other people's stories or, you know, the manipulations that were given. She's not manipulated. All right. So this is your advice cards. Don't be manipulated. Stay clear thinking and stay clear of the drama, and you will come out on top. I love it. And then your oracle card is stop pushing and striving. Stop pushing and striving. Maybe just allow. This reminds me of the law of allowing, you know, where Hicks Abraham talks about this. Like you put out your intentions, you focus on what you want, you envision what you want, you work for what you want, and then you let spirit bring it to you, you know? And also it reminds me of Tony Robbins. Striving and never arriving is the fastest way to failure. So, striving and never arriving is the fastest way to failure. Even when you do win, even when you win the contest or whatever it is, you have to recognize that you've won. You have to give yourself that victory lap. You have to give yourself the pat on your back. You have to give yourself a hug if there's no one there to hug you. And I see that here. You know, hug yourself. You know, you've done it. You're good. You're loving, lovable, you know. So that's all I have for you this week, beautiful Capricorn. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. And I'll see you next time. Peace. Okay, beautiful Aquarius. So for you this week, you have Knight of Swords, which is like a finger of God, an astrological alignment called a yod, or a finger of God, finger of fate, finger of destiny. And so timing is unleashed, like a rubber band that's been pulled back and it's going forward quickly. Okay. Something is about to be unleashed in your life, and it has a lot to do with information, communication, of a message, understanding, downloads. And I say downloads and intuitive hits because it's right here with the Hanged Man or the Hanged One. And this is receiving enlightenment, being put in an uncomfortable position, upside down, right, that you're not used to being in, so that you can surrender, release, and open up to spirit. And then you get you get spiritual enlightenment and the ability to change your destiny, basically. And then you have the King of Wands, the master of your fire, the master of your work, being the boss at work, stepping up and bossing up in your life, being bold, being brave, saying your words, not hiding anymore. I want to say for some of you, it's like really, really, it's like I'm picturing you sitting in a chair and everybody thinks you're this, and then you get up and you stand up and they're like, oh, wow, they're so much taller. Like you're hiding your light under a bushel. They don't know what you can do. They don't know who you are. They don't know how powerful you are, how effective you are, how magical you are. You know, because this is a magic wand, you know, so it's like you're stepping up and showing who you really are now. I love it. Okay. And then for your advice cards, you have the Three of Cups. This is so interesting. The Three of Cups is the Norns of fate, the Norns of destiny. And you have the Yod, the finger of fate right here, right? So this divine timing has aligned. It's time for you to take advantage of this alignment, okay? And temperance. Temperance is not a super fast energy. Temperance has to be patient, and you have the need for patience here as well, right? With the Hanged One, you're in the midst of a process. You know, you have to surrender to the process, to divine timing and all that other stuff. And with temperance, it's not what you get, it's who you become in the process. It's not the destination, it's the journey that matters, you know? And it feels like the fates have said, okay, well, now is the time, but that doesn't mean everything happens instantaneously. It means step into your future and allow the road to unfurl before you. Go into the direction of your dreams. Go step onto the path of your destiny. Be brave in so doing, right? Go after what you want on the prowl, right? But allow things to unfold in perfect timing and perfect alignment. Spirit is puts you on a path, and it's almost like, you know, it will open the gates as you reach them, and it will give you vision as you reach the next step or the next level. So everything isn't apparent to you right now, and it's not all unfolded to you right now. There's a real process of becoming. Okay? And then, beautiful Aquarius, you have the precious present moment. So live in the moment, be here now, enjoy this moment. It won't be back again. This is the last time you'll be in this moment, right? So in every moment, that's the medicine. Be here now. Breathe the air. You know, feel your body. Feel the divine spark that lives within you. That's all that I want to say to you, beautiful Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace. All right, beautiful Pisces, you have King of Cups. So this is deep emotion. And I think you get this, beautiful Pisces, because the King of Cups is like Neptune Pisces energy. This is extremely Piscean. Very, very deep in the subconscious, in the dream world, you know, sometimes repressed emotions or memories coming to light. You know, this is like understanding your dreams, understanding messages from spirit, understanding who you are on the deepest level. This is waking up, okay, to your feelings about something. And then you have Judgment, the card of awakening, the card of being woken from the coffin. Feels like with Judgment and the King of Cups, you are remembering repressed memories, repressed emotions, so that you can process them and step into a more creative and productive life, a life where you can birth, because the Empress is pregnant with possibilities, the world that you came to manifest. But before you do that, there is a sense of healing that has to take place. Healing your mind, healing your vision, healing your memories, healing the past, Pisces. You know, really, this is deep energy. This is doing shadow work. This could be soul retrieval. You know, something coming back from your past so that you can heal it. You know, so that you can remember it, forgive yourself, forgive others. You know, and let it dissolve into nothing. Let it just go away after that. You know. Something that was still alive inside you didn't know. Then you have the Empress card. She is creating the world through light. She's creating light codes and light grids around the earth, in the cosmos, through your visions, through your dreams, your intentions, your words. You're working for things, whatever it is that you are manifesting in whatever way. The Empress is forming it in her womb. Okay, so you are creating your tomorrow. It's a very, very creative time for you. And then your advice cards, you have 7 of Wands, which is stay true to your highest and most blessed timeline. Stay true to your higher self. Be honest with yourself and others. Be authentic. And the Emperor. You have the Empress who is birthing the world into being, and you have the Emperor who gives it solidity, who lowers the frequency so that it can become densified manifest reality, so that it can atomize and become solid, so that we can see it. You know, she gives it life and he gives it structure. He gives it a body. And he also gives it safety. He puts boundaries around it to keep it safe. He creates systems and structures to make it make sense, you know, budgets and timelines and, you know, meal plans and, you know, all that, you know what I mean? Like he takes control. And so that's what you're being told to do. Take control of this manifestation. Make room for it in your life. Create systems that's going to, it's like if you are pregnant with a baby, you're going to have a baby, right? The Emperor maybe starts a savings fund for it, or starts creating a bedroom for it where it's going to live, and it's going to have toys, and put locks on the doors and childproof the house. This is the kind of energy, with the Emperor in your advice row. It feels like, though, with the Seven of Wands, just stay true to the highest expression of you, beautiful Pisces. As long as you are in alignment with the highest and most blessed expression of Pisces, especially with the King of Cups coming in, then what you are birthing will come out so much more beautiful, so much more effective, so much more longer lasting. Follow the light, because you're putting light into your womb. Whatever you're creating, could be a business, could be something that you want to manifest, whatever it is. Give it its best chance by infusing it with divinity, and you are the source of that divinity. Okay. And then you have let go of control. There's the Dove of Peace in there, which is also interesting. Release control. Release the need to control things. Allow Spirit to co-create with you. You plant the seed and let Spirit water it and bring it sunshine and all that other stuff. Don't dig it up and see how it's doing as well. And also, the dove is outside of the cage. Letting go of control is like freeing that dove. Releasing the dove. If you love something, set it free. Allow the dove to fly free and find its most blessed and highest timeline. So there is a need to not smother yourself, not smother energies, not smother others with that protective, controlling, codependent, projection kind of energy, anything like that. All right. So that's what I have for you this week, beautiful Pisces. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I'll see you next time. Peace.